get out of their institutions. There's still a shortage of industry expectation in terms of the skills that they expect, which they want to find in every new applicant. Now, this problem was so very clearly recognized by the Honorable Prime Minister that in July 24 budget, which was for the rest of the year, having given a vote on account in February 24, for the rest of the year we came up with a budget in July 24, in which 5 different schemes were announced in order to improve more enrollment into jobs, more support to the job seeker who gets enrolled, support to the employer who wants these new employment, the additional employments that he gets in, and moreover to bring in that kind of a bridge which is so required for industry expectation to be met and for the youth to find a chance to know what kind of expectations exist in the industry or business world. How did we want to do it? We wanted to have an internship scheme in which the government would give a fair deal of amount for monthly expenditure in terms of some kind of a payment for the intern, 4,500 rupees, and the industry was asked to chip in 500 rupees. And we expected the top 500 companies or businesses to give that exposure to these youth who were non-IIT students, who were not coming from well-known institutions. We are not coming from metropolitan cities. Not that the metropolitan cities are excluded, but aiming at getting Tier 3, Tier 2 students to come in so that they understand what is the expectation of the job market and how much of additional skills that they have to acquire, and also to get a view of how the jobs work in a shop floor, in a business house, in a servicing center, in a logistics firm, whatever. So they understand what's the scope of job availability and where does he possibly try to fit in himself, and for fitting in, what is it that he needs to acquire. So essentially a gap filling, bridging, exposing, and also giving the complete exposure for the individual is the objective of this internship scheme which we brought in July. And in October we came up with a first pilot in which I was glad to see at least 300 odd companies coming in. And later enrollment was started. There was a transparent process through which the website was available. People could go register themselves saying, I'm from this PIN code. As much as possible through the system itself, every intern applicant was tried to be placed in the area from which he came, literally within the district, if not the neighboring district. No one was expected to get out too far unless they chose to want to, they choose saying, I want to go this far. So the system was very automated. It was very clearly supportive of all the proactive provisions in the Constitution so that nobody is missed out. People who needed that additional support were given. The reservation policy was also introduced into it. But the companies were given a short list through which they could choose who they wanted to. So it was no compulsion on the industry, no interference in their management process, but yet making industry realize that they should also take a step forward to give that opportunity for people who want to understand what is it that which they have to acquire so that they are better ready for the markets. So the pilot ran, and the second pilot, if I may call that, is now expanded, and I understand it covers more than 735 districts in the country, which means all states are covered, union territories are covered, and in this second phase, more industries have come forward, 325 industries have come forward. But even with this, and I think I appreciate the industry's readiness to come forward and offer positions, but for a country of our size, and with the objective that the top 500 companies participate, we still have some way to go. I would appeal to the industry to make sure that the rest of them, beyond the 300 who have come forward, should also participate. This is a national cause. Nobody is expecting you to cut your profits, or nobody is expecting industry to face loss. The government is chipping in money. We need to give that confidence to our youth. We need our youth to understand what it takes to get into such top 500 companies if they ready themselves, if only they ready themselves. If they don't ready themselves, they're not going to be wanted by the industry. So I would think Indian industry